Hi guys, welcome to the future system of mid-January, and I'm going to reinstall this thing anyway, so quickly a video. And that's the timing, right? If you have some dangerous things to test out, or things you say, wow, what would happen if, and what if it really goes wrong, things like that, do that prior to a clean install and learn from it. What I'm gonna do is take a look at the kernels. So, yay, Linux kernel. Is there something I can install from the AUR? So not from sudo pacman-s, but building it for real. So there's lots and lots and lots up here. Starting from AUR, you can actually start all kinds of builds. Some of them are out of date. Doesn't really mean that it wouldn't work, but they are out of date. And this is November, right? So, September. So lots of things are in here. What should I choose just to have a example? Here's a Linux MacBook kernel. Never tried that before. I have a Linux Power book, it's called, right? Mac, old thing, 9 years old. You can say what you want, but they are resilient. It's still kicking. And of course it has ArcoLinux. There's the Linux Zen Git. So we have Linux Zen we can install, but this is the Git version of it. So lots and lots of Linux elements you can have a look at. This is the Linux Next thing. Let's see at the date. So 01/22. This is my date of today. I have 12, right? So we have the Linux Next Git. That feels like a winner. So that's the next kernel. Linux Next Git. So not even a number like 510 or something, but just boom, you got a Git version, a Git number. So release of that day. So it's filling adventures a little bit, and of course making sure everything is backup so you don't have issues at all. Here is the 510, maybe you would want to install as well. So that's the next Linux kernel, the one we're using now. It's a Linux kernel. So that's also, well, actually that's an even better guy, right? 5.10, Control C, well, Control Shift C and Control Shift V. So this guy, or it was the other one, I don't know what it was called again, but you scroll through it and you decide it's the next one. So the question is the date, of course. When is the last thing? So choose, right? Just choose. So, right, sudo pacman, sorry, yay, -s, Control Shift V, and then we have Linux Git. And this is what he's going to get. Lots of Python things, GTS, Python, lots of Python things. Enter. Enter. And off it goes. So it needs all of them. Fine. Go get it, my friend. A speedy server is important, so that was okay. That was whoop, and it was downloaded. So that's super. And if you want to follow along inside the cache, Control H, cache, yay, Linux is going to get things. That's the package build. That's how you build it, and that's maybe how you change it and do it your own way. So let's read it a little bit. It's coming from kernel.org. In case you didn't know, Control C, everybody of Linux, oops, Control Alt F, everybody from Linux is getting their stuff here. So there you go, we have already something in common. We all get it. The 5.10 and the 5.2 stable tarballs. And what are we getting? We're getting this kind of version, so that's a release. That's release kind of the 2, I suppose, and this is the release on GitHub, which we could maybe browse or something. Let me see, 5.10. Let's go ahead and click. commits, numbers of commits. So GE4 release 81, commit 81. Where can we find 81? RC7. Here we have RC2. So I guess we have more releases. Patch here, patch there, 3 here, 3 there. Lots of things, and everybody is making an effort to make the Linux kernel better every single day, every single minute, I suppose, with all these people working on it. So it's coming from kernel.org. Okay, make depends. These are all the things we had. We need to make the package. It's coming from here, googlesource.com. That's where it's coming from Torvalds Linux. Skip everything. We're building it for Arch Linux. Timestamp there. How busy is he? He's still working. F12, right? Hidden away. Busy. Setting versions, package release. You can read it, even though you can't write it, you can read it, right? That's important. Build the source name, make HTML docs. And then the package, we need to package the thing. So Arch Linux knows what an XZ is. It's a long list. Package name, package docs. So I'm reading the green stuff. Still busy. So it's a fun thing to see this all go over every detail of your computer. Some of the words you recognize. And we can also have a look here in the source code, Linux. So this is the building blocks to make your Linux kernel. The make file, the readme, maybe you can have a look at the readme. We can read this documentation there. Okay. And anything interesting? Everything is just interesting, but kernel, let's take a look at kernel. Time, trace, locking, live patch, configs. Things are changing all the time, I see. FS file system. Yep. File system. They're busy. F12. Riser, you see, I happen to be in the file system here. FS, you see sometimes FS/. So file system was a good guess. There's a lot there. Oof. It all needs to understand, right? Drivers, also interesting. Drivers. NVMe drivers are here. There is something video. Yeah. Here. Video. Nope. GeForce. Nope. Up, 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 up. Down. Nothing at all. F12. Still building the kernel. Catfish, help me out here. ARM. Just looking if I can find out the things supported by the kernel. I remember I found it years ago. I know I can still find it. Somewhere there's a list where it says kernel supports this or that card. And there is sound cards on Nvidia. There is serial from Nvidia. Pin C2L, MTD, memory, input, GPU, display. I would think it's display, but I only have this. Only the Tegra guys. All Tegra. What's this? Also Tegra. Nvidia boot. Tegra. Sure. I remember it was display, I think. Guys, this is years ago. I have the time, right? Oof, still building. Documentation. All winner. Sounds good. GPU, DRM, AMD. This AMD stuff. Yeah, who can find these things, right? So this is all for AMD support. Displays. Still busy. That's normal, right? If you were wondering. In July and August I ventured into Gen 2. Building is second nature there. I mean, it's survival there. If you're not heating up your computer, you're not updating. Too bad. And how about Nouveau? You have to write it. It's in French, correct. Oh my god, it is not correct. Without X? Well, it is with X. Anyway, I'm always right. GPU, DRM, Nouveau. Okay, still busy. Linux drivers, Nouveau. Lots of Nouveau. Include config and here as well. Can we combine things? We can't. Look at that. Sorry. This actually looks as it's pointing to cards, numbers, and a graphical card has a number, and I see the numbers behind it, so it might be referring to numbers, but this is still Chinese for us. We want to know I don't know, G47 or something like that, a list of everything supported. Maybe guys you have more time and you'll find it, because it's in here. Well, it used to be in here anyway. DRM nouveau config and nouveau H. Debug legacy. Legacy is old stuff, I guess. Let's have a look. Open up. Nothing. Nice. Stuff for your mouse. Here's the nouveau. And the NVMe. Yeah, I would go in here. Include config. Let's go up again. So we're in here. How about drivers? Ooh, getting hot. How about drivers? NVMe, and then whoop, it jumps. No Nvidia. How about nouveau? Jumps there as well. Not here either. Not getting hot at all. Documentations, library, samples, scripts. Too bad. Still finding. We still have time. Maintainers, let's have a look. Always test your changes. Oh boy, God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. They should have numbered it. 20,000 lines. Divided by more or less 8. Jesus. Still busy. All right, Google, help me. Kernel. List of Nvidia cards. Yeah, this is always helpful. I've looked when I started this venture in July, August, my holiday project. I read, of course, the wiki of Gen 2, and before I did that adventure, I already went looking on Ubuntu and on Gen 2 as well to fix things in ArcoLinux. That's why I always say think out of the box. Solutions can be on Gen 2. So you never know. Oh, really? Second time? Let's see. Still building. GPU driver documentation. AMD, GPU product name, memories. Here we have Intel. Personally, I have an Intel 630. Control find Nvidia. Okay, so Tegra is here. That seems to be it. Unix drivers. Sure. I'm afraid I will not find it, but maybe someone else has some luck and puts the link beneath the video. Let's put it in a question. What graphical cards is supported by kernel, my Linux kernel? It's a long sentence. What graphical card? Linux CPU driver developer guide. Okay. Big drivers. What's graphical? Don't like the word like that. Graphical. It's got a PH. Graphical card is supported by Linux kernel. Free and open source graphic device drivers. Always nice to see this. Interesting for teaching, right? First the hardware, then the Linux kernel, finding out, hey, there's a CPU, hey, there's RAM, and everything is set up. And then everything goes way up until we see something nice on our screens. Do some gaming. Nvidia, list of Nvidia graphics processing units. And Nouveau is a free and open source graphics device driver for Nvidia video cards and the Tegra family of the SOCs, written of independent software engineers with minor help from Nvidia employees. And here's my Intel. Never had any issues, guys, with Intel support graphical card ever. So next time you buy something, you think about it. Let's click on the Nouveau here. Nouveau is a free and open source, and so on. F12, still building. Written by Control find list. That's it. The only time comparison here. Linux Nouveau supported cards. Let's go to that. How can I find out which cards are supported? There we go. We're back on Ubuntu. So these are the numbers of the Nvidia cards. If you do an, I don't know if you do an INC, surely if you do a probe, you'll figure it out. If you don't know what probe is a command, an alias that we have in our system, and it's gonna probe your hardware, gonna send the link, and that link can go on the forum or on Discord, and then we have a look. We say, okay, what do you have as hardware? We have ArcoLinux rolling, the kernel version, what motherboard you have, the model, and all that. Everything. I can wonder, is grub is not working? What's the configuration for grub. That's our configuration. So everything is in there, so we can help you with that. Do not do this. So I guess there is a number card in there somewhere. But it's still not what I was looking for. The feature matrix. Let's click on one of them. Aha! Now we are getting somewhere. So GeForce 7, I think I have still one of those here. That's number 4 of GeForce 9. I think I have a GeForce 9. And there you go on, and that's the family, the Tesla family. Normal users don't need to know all that, right? All these numbers. But it's there. It's online. You can figure it out. Let's of course also have a look at ArcoLinux, Nvidia or AMD. And you have lots of information. Going again to the Nouveau legacy card list. Driver download site. We all know that. There are unsupported drivers as well. Here we have the numbers popping up again. So once you know your number, you're in the clear. But these days it's not very fun to have an Nvidia card. It does not apply to everyone. But the news. Where are you? This is not the correct page. That's the better page. Look at line number 3. Nvidia 455.28 is incompatible with Linux 5.9 from Sven Hendrik Haase. So I'm building a newer version. I don't know if that's gonna support it. Why not look at AMD as well? To be honest, I haven't heard many people having issues with AMD. It's always Nvidia. You draw your own conclusions. I'm happy with my Intel. If I think I would buy an AMD. And that's of course just if we're talking about Linux. I was just thinking about my son. He has an Nvidia card on Windows. No issues. If there were issues, it would be down here all the time. Dad, help me. Alright. Still lots to learn. If you don't have an Nvidia card, nothing to learn, right? Nothing to read, nothing to test. And I don't have one. Up here, building. It's 30 minutes now, and it's still building. ArcoLinux kernel. Okay, wrong. Go for, do you see? These are the results for ArcoLinux kernel. So F word to Google and finger up. This you should look. ArcoLinux kernel, installing a new kernel, Linux LTS, hardened, Linux Zen. It's explained how to install kernel 5.0 back in the days, right? 4th of March 2019. So now we'll have a new video how to install the kernel. What version was it again? Some release version. GitHub number. Installing 4 different kernels. Look at everything. ArcoLinux forum. Yes, guys, please use the playlists. I put a lot of effort in it, in trying to get all these 1,700 videos already together. And the way to do that on YouTube is with playlists. So this is just about kernels. And then you click on it and you see it here, right? You can always go, yeah, no thanks. go down and read and say, okay, I want to have this or that. VirtualBox, a Linux mainline kernel. That I did, but it's always just run, right? It just takes enormously amount of time, and that's what our ArcoLinux guy do for us. Do this, and then change the package build for whatever reason, and then we get a new kernel in. Oh, a bloated. No, a very efficient workflow computer. But this, by the way, this is an old, 16 July. Well, not that old. But what is bloated, right? Bloated means the image, the image from Windows, Mac, Windows, bloated. The video I'm having in my head is of this Windows guys, who is this one. Oh, awesome, right? This one, that's bloated for me, right? That's Windows and that's Mac. The thing is about bloated is that ArcoLinux ISO, okay, ArcoLinux ISO is the way we want it. It's our system, the way we see it. This is our ISO, basically. And we say, look, when we want to develop and when we want to be creative, we need to have Atom, we need to have Melt, we have to have all this here. This is for open box with our menus in there that just only work with Genie. So fine. So these things are in here because of XFCE OpenBox i3 and because of also for a first timer Linux user, you get to see already a few applications that are super interesting. This is like Photoshop for free, and Inkscape is like this is InDesign, and GIMP is Photoshop. So that's super. All right, well, where we were before we were rudely interrupted. By the way, yeah, still building. 33 minutes, so now I paused it on the video here because the doorbell rang. So, bloated, right? My vision is when you install an operating system, all I need to do is change the icons, the wallpaper and the theme and get my stuff in, which means in my case Dropbox or Google Drive or any other of these cloud services. That's it. Everything else should be there. And yes, there are applications that from time to time I use, but not often. Like GPIC is awesome, but it's something you don't use often. You have a click here, you navigate over his blue sweater, and you press spacebar, and then I know the color. And yes, sometimes you need it because, for example, I use it when there's a conky, you have a wallpaper, and you love the wallpaper and the conky clash because of the color. So you go and pick a color from your wallpaper and change it in the code. Voila, you've got a new conky that matches your system. And that's great about Linux, right? Anything you see can be just changed. Anything you have can be like this blue here. We want to know what color of blue it is. Okay, click, and now we go over here, and that's this kind of blue. It's super, and it's easy, and yeah, we don't need it that much, but we do need it from time to time. Warning, okay, warning is good, as long as no error. So there are things in here that we use. Well, Office is not even installed. Why? Because hey, there is OpenOffice, there is LibreOffice, there is WPS Office. I mean, it's just a few clicks away. Everybody can choose the thing they want, and it's all about sudo backman -s and then WPS something. There you are. Office, and why not the MIME and all that, and the font maybe, and so on. But we do this often. We do that on our Calamaris system. Click, 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 click. You want to have that, and everything gets installed. So that's easy, that's fun, and it's a choice, and it's not on the ISO, because as you might have understood, these office things are super big. And then it gets even bigger and bigger, our ISO. So things are the way we want them, right? The team wants to have a functional system, a workflow thing that immediately has meld, immediately has Git ahead, and there are abundantly reasons to have it. Ooh, something red. A reference. We'll see if it continues. And that's the ArcoLinux ISO. And then we have the D. Now we say, okay, we strip everything. And we leave 7 or 8 packages of ArcoLinux, like the keyring, without keyring, right? And packages that, yeah, you know you need. But basically, you have an ArcoLinux system with a few packages of ArcoLinux, and go be our guest, do anything you like. And the ArcoLinux D, there are 2 ways. You say, I'm gonna click something in Calamares, voila, it's installed. Or you're gonna say it later with scripts or just typing sudo pacman -s xfc4 xfc4 goodies. You've got a system. It's just a desktop that you just installed with 2 words. Great. And there's the B, and then the B where you're going to build it. Let's wait here. The B is where you're going to download it or build it. And the idea for the B, of course, is you build it. So you choose a desktop like Plasma, and then you decide I would like to have min as browser. So you put on the package list the word min, and then you have it. If you totally say, whoa, what's he talking about? I just made a video, I think, about a quick install on Carly. It was Carly 9, and I just installed min there. That's all it is. It's just another application, another Lego block. Welcome to min, start browsing. And it's another browser. And off you go. All right. Well, I'm afraid this is stuck here. Don't see any movement. Free space enough. That's no issue. Here's something about Mac. Oh, it moves. It is still alive. Okay, let's just wait. So, just about, well, it got me going because I saw the word bloated. I call it efficient. I call it workflow. I call it, hey, I don't have to do anything anymore. I don't need to add anything anymore. It's just looking great the way it is. And, oh, talking about looking great, I had the intention to just show you guys, hey, rising is so easy, right? So the panel, maybe the panel preferences, and look, the panel is off. We can actually drag you all the way up, like it's, I think, usually all the way up there. Lock panel. We can make it smaller in length. I wonder if we can actually make it in the middle. Not sure if we can do that. Lock panel, span monitors. Okay, I have 2 monitors here. Horizontal output, automatic. Appearance, background, we can use a background, a solid color. Let's take something gray. How will that, then it looks like that. Adjust size automatically. Opacity when you enter. And when you leave. Okay. Maybe better like this, I don't know. Some fun. Solid background image would be, I think, a strange thing. Items, the whisker menu, separator, clock. You can add stuff, plus, action buttons, battery maybe, battery monitor, clock, CPU frequency, CPU graph. Oh, it's still busy. How about CPU frequency monitor? Is it now added? I think so. We'll see later. The eyes are there. Ah, I didn't notice there's an MPD client plugin. Look at that. You gotta have the application, of course, the waveland maybe, weather update. I'm not so weathery like. So it's 2 times, 1 down, remove. So way up, way up, way up. Yeah, I think it's good here. All right, close. So now with this kind of thing, that's strange, right? Strange looking. That's the wallpaper that's changed. Now I have to workflow, right? I was going somewhere else. F12, still busy, still kicking. Circle arc. Okay, why not circle arc? There's surfing there, there's so many icons there. But the thing is, one of the things I don't like is an operating system that has a broken icon theme. Every icon, every application should have an icon and in the same theme. Like the Sardi, like the surfing, I make them myself. So it's not, well, if it breaks, and it will break, then I can make it myself. And every month we get a release of Sardi and Surfing, or sooner even, if I see that one of the icons is not there. And that's a maintainer thing. It's an application of as for the maintainers, the developers of the packages that change it. Now, there you go, they got problems. Length. I need to make it a little bit longer, otherwise I don't see my icons there. So the question was, can I make it actually, where is my panel preferences again? Can I? I was thinking about that size, that's not it. Number of rows, maybe I haven't tried that. Number of rows, we get this here. But I wanted to automatically increase length, that's good. I want to stop the lock, that's it. And then see if I can move it more or less in the middle. But I thought in the past we had this thing that it was available, that it was automatically in the center. Ctrl-Alt-F, it's gonna work, Ctrl-G. Still kind of looks in the middle of things. Click, click. Does seem to centralize, so that's good, to center itself. And we have panels, we have panels to make it nice. Oh, I can type in my password. Come on. This is our kernel. Ooh. So Ctrl-T, 5914, moving to 5.10. And yes, I'll have to stop the video there and reboot. But it takes a while, right? How long have we been busy now? Show window. At least 44 it says, but there was a ring at the doorbell rang there. About 15 minutes, right? Building a kernel. It's like, and it's not the oldest computer. It's not the oldest computer. F12. All right, done. So we have a new system. In the file system, the boot, we got ourselves a new VM Linux thing and a Git thing. All right. I got a reboot, guys. So see you in the next live.